Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well. Happy Monday. This week has been, or last week, this week, it's all the same at this point. I hope you've been taking care of yourselves amidst all of the changes that we are currently experiencing. I hope you're taking care of yourselves. Today we're going to do our first YouTube pick a card. So we haven't done a pick a card if you've been following me on Instagram. We haven't done this in a couple of weeks, so I'm excited to get into it. Yeah, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. The timestamps are going to be there, so once you pick your card, you can go ahead and skip to your pile. You don't have to go ahead and watch the entire thing, but if you would like to, or if you feel drawn to more than one pile, you are more than welcome to watch more than one video, or one pick a pile. So yeah, all right, let's go ahead and get into it. So these are the piles: pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. So take a deep breath and allow your intuition to pick your pile. All right, and when you're ready, let's go ahead and get into it. The timestamps are in the video. Let's go. All right, so for my pile ones, I didn't see any of your cards beforehand, so I'm excited. Some cards from the other groups I saw beforehand, but yours were completely flipped over, so I love that. Okay, so we have Keepers of the Earth, Wonder, Transportation, Transformation, Warrior, and Branwen of the Starlit Ostara. Now, I should know how to pronounce this by now because I've looked this up before. But it represents a new beginning. Okay. You're transforming. Things are changing at a cellular level for you, okay? If you pick this pile, you are somebody that has been going through massive changes for months now, like well beyond or well before, this week, before this year. You have been on a deep transformative journey for a while, and you are walking up on a new beginning. You are coming up on a new beginning, and I feel like you've been asking yourself for a while when your new beginning is coming. I feel like you've been in a state of hermit mode. You've been transforming, you've been digging within the shadows, and it's not been the easiest thing, right? But you've been being asked to be strong through it all and to really put forward that warrior spirit. Okay, so for the warrior card, the light attributes are strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will, heroism, stoicism, and I think I said that right, and self-sacrifice and conquering the ego. So you've also been moving through processing out certain parts of yourself and like filtering through your ego. Some of you have even experienced like full-blown ego deaths where you have completely, in one way or another, shattered this old version of yourself, these old narratives that have been kind of replaying in your head. A part of your transformation has been you weeding through all of that stuff and starting to actually clear out the old so that you can officially start this new beginning. Because this new beginning is not only like showing up in your world as new, like it's not just that your environment is changing, but you're changing. There's a new beginning happening within you. Okay, so for my past life cards, I have transportation. So in the past, you might have been somebody who was always on the go, always moving around, not really able to settle down or find community, connect to the people that you really wanted to. And even when you did find the people that you really wanted to be around, they were just not able to be in your life for that long because of business or money, or just, I'm getting associations that did not align And so you've kind of always found yourself bouncing from circle to circle, just trying to figure out where you fit. And I think a part of that struggle has come from this lack of authenticity. And I do not mean that in a judgmental way. There's so much masking that we've had to do throughout our lives. This is something that so many of us, even if this is not your pile, so many of us have been removing our mask and trying to take steps to actually connect to who we are, to shake off these old beliefs, to ask the hard questions so that we can actually tap into who we really are, despite how it's made other people feel, despite how uncomfortable we've made other people. This authentic you is ready to come through, and you've been doing the work. And I literally see like this warrior, like I see you like slashing through all of this shit that never made sense, but you've recently, at least over the past year, have had the confidence to just say, to realize like, you know what, I cannot live like this. There are things within me that are not making sense, and you've really been doing the work so that you can have your new beginning, so that you can find in this lifetime the people that you actually connect to, so you can find your soul tribe and also connect to your ancestors as well and your spirit team. Because with this Keepers of the Earth card, you are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. You've been doing all of this really beautiful work, and I'm hearing that it may have even been lonely at times, to where you felt like you were doing it all on your own, that you didn't have anybody there with you. But this pile, this spread wants you to know, your ancestors want you to know, your spirit team wants you to know, your guides, that you have had their support and will continue to have their support. And if you want more support, you can ask for it, right? The more you are specific about the help that you need, whether it be in the 3D realm or in the 5D spiritually, like if you need some support, they are able to help you, and they are willing and ready and waiting to help you to continue to move through this transformative period so that you can reach this new beginning. And then we have wonder. It is a wonderful thing to be in a state of wonder. And when I'm a good audience to my life becomes better and better theater. When something delightful happens, I can shout encore and be tickled when it happens again. And when something maddening happens, I can laugh it off. Either way, I'm glad I got a ticket to the show, okay? So you've been in a state of wonder. And I didn't show all the other cards, but something told me to show this card, so maybe this is relevant to somebody. This person is dressed almost like Sherlock Holmes, but they have on like 3D glasses. They're just curious. They're just literally just like allowing themselves to see what's happening around them and to be a curious observer. And I think that's what you're being asked to do right now. As you are stepping into this new version of yourself, you're being asked to be an observer of your life. And when wild things happen, allowing yourself to be curious about it as opposed to judging it. When these new aspects of yourself come up that have either been hidden for a long time or you just have never even known they were there, you're being asked to be curious about what is coming up. And I'm getting a very specific message for somebody, that there are things that are going to come up that are innately part of who you are, but these are things that have kind of people have tried to pull you away from these aspects of yourself or shame you in regards to these aspects of yourself. But I'm also getting that these parts of yourself that were shamed by people, there are certain like insecurities and things that we have from our childhood, from these experiences, that are like very prevalent in our brain. I hope that's the right word. Very obvious, like, you know, this is clearly a thing that I, you know, went through when I was young. But I'm getting that there are certain parts of your personality that were shamed at such an early age that you have been disconnected from those parts of you for so long that when they come up, you're almost not even going to recognize that these are parts of yourself that you are actually meant to embody, but because they've been shamed so intensely, you are being asked to just be aware of the judgment that may come up in regards to these aspects of yourself, because they're actually really beautiful aspects, and there are things that will not only help those around you, but there are lots of people that are also just like you in this way. And so when those things come up, you're just being asked to stay curious, to stay open about these aspects of yourself, because for somebody specific, this thing that you're going to come into that is a very integral part of who you are is something that is going to really change your life. But it might be something that has to grow on you as you clear out the shame around this aspect of yourself. Okay? So this new beginning card also comes with the question, what is it that you're holding on to that you're being asked to let go of? Okay, so there might be something that is standing in the way of your new beginning, and you're being asked to let go of that thing, but to also ask yourself, as you process letting go of that thing, what is keeping you there and why, and really getting to the bottom of it so that you can really move through this energy and really get to this new beginning. Because also with this transportation card, I feel that there are also journeys coming in your future, and I'm seeing that the soul tribe that you are going to connect with as you tap into your authenticity and as you move into this new beginning, the people that you're going to attract into your life, you guys are going to be taking some journeys together. And I'm getting that they're physical journeys, like literally like going somewhere, and you're protected through it all. So yeah, I think that's all I have for pile 1. I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I will talk to you on Monday. Okay, pile 2. Let's get into your reading. Okay. So I did not see your cards before. Excuse me. Okay, so we've got Voice of the Outcasts, Advocacy, Priestess, how are you being called to step up and lead, Authenticity, Hero or Heroine, Hero, Heroine, that's crazy, because how do you say that? Is it heroine? That's crazy. I'm not trying to start your reading talking about heroin. Then we got Child, Divine, and then we have Vows. Okay. This energy is powerful. Like, even just this, the advocacy card and the priestess card. We have Esmeralda, and then we have this other woman here who's like decked in jewels. She's the high priestess, okay? She's tapped into her spirituality. She's going with the flow. This card, the high priestess, the priestess, wants to know, how are you being called to step up and lead? And then there's 2 lions in this card, and I'm acknowledging the lions because she's balancing. Like, I literally just, I'm imagining her balancing her feminine and her masculine, and learning how to tap into the spiritual realms and make moves in the material realm. You're learning how to blend those things. You're learning how to tap into your spirituality, but also learn the ways of the world in order for you to get what it is that you desire, right? And so a part of that is for you to be able to tap into your purpose, because I'm getting that once you tap into your purpose, there is a huge sense of at homeness that you are going to feel, a sense of peace that you are going to feel. And I'm getting right now that it might feel a little bit scary. It might be a little bit scary to lean into this energy, but it is what you are meant to do. If you've picked this pile, you are meant to advocate for others. You are a strong motherfucker, whoever you are, because we have the hero, we have the voice of the outcast, and then we have the priestess. We also have authenticity, and I'm getting that you are a person who, you've probably been told things like, you know, you are very bold or very blunt, or, you know, you might have heard people say they've never met anybody like you, or you've probably heard people say that they're inspired by how you allow yourself to lean into who you are and be unapologetically you. And because of this authenticity, you have been given the gift of being one of the people that's being called to step up and lead. And you're being asked in what way that you are being called to step up and lead. What about you, what about your uniqueness is something that other people are seeking? There's something about you at your core that is going to be so integral to the next, specifically 4 to 10 years. There is something about your personality that you've had to learn how to grow into, but I'm getting that you have been. Like you're the kind of person where it's like, no, I know who I am, I know what I stand for, I know who my people are. And that's not to say that you might not still be, you know, transitioning into your full power and like really, you know, learning how to walk in alignment with what it is that you're being asked, but you're doing it. And this card didn't come up here, but it's popping up in my head now. There's a card, you're already doing it. There's a lot of, I'm not even getting that you feel worried, but I'm just, you've been questioning if you're doing the right thing, if you're on the right path, and I'm getting that you are. You've been doing what it is that has been asked of you. And that's interesting coming in with this vows card. So this is a past life card, and it's saying, so, you know, people give vows when they get married, but they also give vows when you, you know, become a doctor or a lawyer or like a judge. Like, to give a vow to somebody is basically to give a promise. And I'm getting that you gave a promise to yourself before this incarnation started, that you, this time around, this lifetime, will remember who you are and walk in that shit unapologetically. Because I'm getting that in a past life, I'm getting that in a past life, there were parts of you that you did have the strength to like stand in and walk in, but people did not like you for it. Like, people really didn't like that. People were envious of it. People were intimidated by it. And I'm getting that even if you haven't experienced that in this lifetime, that energy is still being carried over from a past lifetime, or even from childhood, or maybe you experienced that in childhood where you knew who you were. Like, that wasn't a thing that you really had to deal with, but it pissed people off. And it may have made you uncomfortable, but I'm getting that for some of you, it may have made you a little uncomfortable and a little uneasy, but I'm getting that for a lot of you, it just made you want to be yourself even more. Like, there are people that retreat in situations like that, but I'm getting that you went the other direction and you were like, oh no, I'm gonna really tell you who I am, because I don't care. I don't care if you hate me because I'm being completely who I am. I don't care if you don't like me because I'm speaking the truth, right? Like, you promised yourself that no matter what happened this lifetime, no matter what was being asked of you, what you were going to do was be who you were, to be who you are. And that is so freaking amazing. And we need that. Like, we really, really need people who are unafraid to claim who they are and cash in on that gold mine, which is your true authentic self. And I just want to applaud you for that, because there are so many of us that are inspired by that, by people that are just like, no, I don't really care if you don't like me. Like, this is who I am. And that, you tapping into that power from such a young age is what is allowing you to lean into your gift of this priestess energy, of somebody who is able to go into the unseen realms, discover wild shit, and bring it back to the 3D and actually teach people about it, or to use it in your work. I'm getting that there are artists listening. I'm getting that you are somebody who, you know who you are. Child divine. There's 4 children. Okay, so there's an archetype deck that I have, and there are 4 divine children: divine nature, child nature, child mystical, I think, child divine, child orphan, child wounded. Take away the mystical one, not a mystical one. Wounded, orphan, nature, and divine. Okay, so child divine, the light attributes are innocence, purity, and redemption. Suggests a special connection with the divine. The shadow attribute, an inability to defend oneself against negative forces. So let me tell you something. In a past life, or even in childhood, you always knew you were special. You always knew that there was something within you that was meant to be shared, was meant to be... You've always known that you were just meant to live wide open, with your heart wide open, but you had people who took advantage of that. And because you were so tapped in and so sensitive, and I mean that in the best way, because sensitivity is a superpower. And your ability to stand in, or I'm sorry, you knowing, you attracting people to you that did not like the fact that you were standing in who you are, standing on business. Because when you were younger, you may have experienced not being able to deal with that. Like, it may have been really, really heavy for you, or it may have been a situation where you were literally not able to defend yourself. Maybe you couldn't find the words. Maybe you were a person who, when you would get really emotional, you weren't able to find the words. You weren't able to communicate and defend yourself and stand up for yourself. And I'm getting that it's not even that you didn't want to, or that you were too scared to, but I'm getting that you were so wide open and so vulnerable and so sensitive that you just literally, you didn't know how. Like, you didn't know how to protect yourself. But now, as you're, growing into who it is that you are, you have this special connection with the divine, and people pick up on that. And what that means is that when you just walk into a room, people literally, you shift the energy of the room by just being there, with your light literally just shining the way for others to, find that divine connection within themselves. Like, you really inspire people to connect with that part of themselves, and that's what makes you such a hero. Light attribute of a hero is passion for a journey of personal empowerment. You have been on a journey of you have been on a journey of personal empowerment for a long time. Like, there are a lot of people that are just getting to this point of like tapping in to that part of themselves, but you've always, in one way or another, been on this journey, and because of that, you are able to stand up for others. You are able to advocate for others because you know who you are, and you're confident in who you are, and you've experienced enough things in your life to where it's like, okay, You might not like me. You might, decide that you don't want to see me. But those things that you've acknowledged in other people's humanity, you have actually had the gift of being able to understand that those people have the same attributes within themselves, but they have just been frustrated, envious, jealous about the fact that whatever they were seeing in you, they were not witnessing within themselves. Whatever they were seeing in you, they wanted, right? But the crazy part is they had it. They had access to it, but they were not allowing themselves to witness that divine within themselves, to witness that authenticity within themselves. And so they just projected that frustration on you. And you've really had to learn how to not give a fuck. And what's so dope about that is you have really learned how to claim your power and how to stand on business. And because of that, you are the perfect person to stand up for other people. Oh my God. That's so beautiful. Oh my God. Because you are being called to step up and lead. You are, and you got it. And you're going to be asked to lead in a different way. The point is for you to figure out what that way is. There's really no right or wrong as long as you are tapped into what's in alignment with you. But I just want to say I'm just so proud of you for everything that you've been through. You are the hero. You are the person that, man, you've probably saved so many people without even knowing it. Oh my God, I'm getting that so deep. Man, it has not been for nothing. Everything that you've been through and all of the hardships and all the tears you've cried, it has not been for naught. I love that word, naught. It has not been for naught. And wow, I am so excited to see what you do, because my God, wow, that's beautiful. Thank you. Seriously, thank you for standing on business. Because we need you. And your guides are so proud of you. So that's your reading. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing it. You're already doing it. Okay? So keep being magical. Keep, tapping into your power. And as you do that, your next steps will be revealed. So that's amazing. I love that for you. All right, y'all. Have an amazing week. And I'll talk to you on Monday. Okay, and last but certainly not least, pile number 3. Now your pile had a lot to say. I gotta organize what's going on here. Okay, hold on. Oh, ooh. Wow. We have Rebel, Warrior Woman, Alchemist, wow, Galactic, January's Rebirth, Trust the Niggle, Yes, and Gratitude. So many cards were flying. The other piles were a lot quieter than you guys' piles. There were cards flying out. This is my kombucha. It's really good. I'm not getting paid to rep the brand, but if you want to know what it is, just ask me in the comments. You're a rebel. Not only are you a rebel, which is someone that challenges authority to effect social change, rejects spiritual systems that do not serve the inner need, you're also an alchemist. Transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. Wow. Oh wow. You've been through a lot. You've been through a lot. And, oof. You've been through a lot. I feel like you were a person that people may have just been I don't know what to do with this person. I'm feeling frustration. People have felt frustrated with you for things that have really hurt you. Like, people have felt frustrations with you about things that were just like who you are. Like, I really feel there are still energies around you that are messing with your energy a little bit. This trust the niggle card is asking, what is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? So basically, this is asking you to tap into your intuition, because there is something that, I'm not even gonna say there's something that you're not seeing. There's something that excuse me, you are seeing, and it's making you rebel. There's something in your energy that is making you rebel, but it's taking a lot of your energy. It's taking a lot of the energy that you need. And here's the thing, you're really good at alchemizing this energy. You're really good at like taking these frustrations and turning them into something else, which is great. But I think that it's also giving an excuse for you to allow things to continue to be as they've been. I feel like there are certain changes that need to take place that haven't been taking place because you're so good at alchemizing, because you're so good at taking one thing, turning it into wisdom. You're the kind of person who like can see the good in everything. You're not a pushover, but you can find the good in everything. And because of that, you forgive. You have a huge heart. Like, your heart space is wide open. And because of that, unfortunately, there have been people that have taken advantage of you, and there may still be people in your life that are taking advantage of you consciously or not consciously. Like, they're literally just, their energy, you've outgrown it. Trust the niggling feeling. Niggle is the wildest word to me. But we have January's rebirth. So there's something happening this month for you. You've been in a period of like, you've been thinking. I feel like you've been thinking a lot, because what I'm talking about isn't something that you're unaware of. Like, you're not just like, oh, what is she talking about? Like, you know, and I don't know what that thing is for you. Only your intuition can tell you what that thing is. But I feel like you've been in a season of reflecting. Like, you've probably been thinking a lot, journaling a lot, really just like trying to weed out. Like, I feel like you've been in scientist mode, trying to weed out things. Or, I'm sorry, hold on. You've been being like a detective, rather, not a scientist. You've been being like a detective, because I talked about this last week about energy leaks, and I feel like this is coming up in your pile right now, is that there are things in your life right now that are making you rebel. And I'm not even gonna say if it's like in a good way or a bad way. All I'm saying is that it's taking up energy that you don't necessarily have, because you're trying really hard to make a thing work. Like, you're the kind of person that can make a thing work, right? But you're tired. And this warrior woman card, have you and that's funny that I said that, this warrior woman card. That's actually crazy, because there's a warrior within you that is literally calling out for you and ready for you to cut away the things that you don't need. And it might be scary, and collectively we're all in one way or another shifting and changing in massive and new and sometimes unrecognizable ways. But you have this extra support. Like, your guides are telling you with this warrior woman card that you are supported as you move through cutting out the things that you no longer need. Like, it is buzz cut season. There's a song called Buzz Cut. Is it Buzz Cut? It's by Lord. Buzz Cut. Oh, I want to look that up. Hold on. Okay, so the song is Buzz Cut Season by Lord. And you should look up the lyrics to that song. But she's talking about She's like, we ride the bus with our knees pulled in. People should see how we're living. Shut my eyes to the song that plays. Shut my eyes to the song that plays. It's buzz cut season anyway. I feel like there are so many different ways to interpret that song, but what I get is like this energy. It's the rebel energy. It's the person who like is seeing all the bullshit around them and like isn't standing for it, but also isn't standing for it. There might be other ways for you to tap into this rebellious energy, because I'm getting that there is this rebel with that inside of you, right? Like I feel like if you're watching this pile, you're somebody, you don't like to be told what to do, and like most people don't, but like you really don't like to be told what to do. And I feel like it's because you've kind of always had people trying to tell you what to do. I see like these authority figures in your life and people in your life who's just always trying to force you to be something that you've never been. Hold on, my phone is dying. Jesus Christ. I can't keep my phone charged for shit. And like, that's honestly, I feel like you're probably similar. Like, there's just certain things that you just don't do because you just don't want to conform, because you've had people try to force you to conform, to force you to be something. And because it's been so painful and you've been in situations where you felt like there wasn't much you could do about it, you've learned to be this master alchemizer. Like, you know how to take this energy and turn it into something different. Because I'm also with this galactic card. We have the galactic past life deck. I'm getting that you were everywhere. You knew everybody. I'm getting that you were well connected. You were like heavy on community. But I'm getting that a lot of people tried to tell you who you were. I'm getting that a lot of people have always tried to tell you who you were, as opposed to just seeing you and allowing you to be who you are. And there are still, like, the rebel in you has positively manifested itself in the way of not even getting rid of people who don't see you. Like, I feel like you just have boundaries. I feel like you're a person that has strong boundaries, or are working on your boundaries, because you're the kind of person where it's just like, I don't even have time to even almost entertain this shit. But your heart is so big and it's so open, and so you've had this struggle, this push and pull between keeping your heart open and like being there for people and being what people want you to be. Like, I feel like you've had a lot of experience being that and doing that, but it has caused, I'm feeling this anger. Like, you know, like when you get that fire in your stomach and you get that knot in your throat and your chest, I'm getting just like, there is so much burnt, well, I meant to say pent up rage, but I'm getting a burnt up rage. I'm literally just seeing somebody just burning shit. Like, just burning old versions of yourself, and not even these old versions that you've chosen. Like, I'm literally getting that for you are the kind of person that people have told you who you are. Warrior woman card, have you answered your deepest calling? You might even be, because of your big heart, you might even think that you've been too harsh on people, or like when you cut people off, or when you don't even, you know, allow people in, you have this moment where you're just ruminating and you're feeling so bad about like, oh, was I too mean, or was I too this, was I too that? Because people, it's like you haven't been able to spend a lot of time just being who you are, and like doing what you want to do, and like believing the things that you want to believe. Like, maybe you grew up in a strict household, or maybe, you know, a religious household, or I'm just getting that there were rules, like there were hella rules, and so you learned how to rebel, but it was out of like, it was like, I'm gonna do this because you're doing this. You know what I mean? But you have this rebel in you that has the potential to literally shake shit up the way that nobody else can. And so this pile is asking you to tap into that intuition, to trust the niggle, to tap into this warrior within you, and know that you being able to finally live your life the way that you want to live your life, and not conforming or assimilating to what other people want from you, is way more important, valuable, and transformative than people pleasing. And people pleasing is something that so many of us experience. So like, don't beat yourself up about that shit. I've spent a lot of time people pleasing in my life, and you know, just the past few years, a big part of my transformation has been literally like going into myself and just reminding myself, like, it doesn't matter what other people think, because it doesn't. And there are so many messages in this world and so many things that will make you think that it does, but it really doesn't. Because there is something within you that nobody has been able to tap into, because it's your gold mine. It's something that only you can uncover. But in order to uncover it, you gotta cut some shit. You gotta cut some shit out, and it's not easy. It's not. And I am in no way insinuating or assuming that it is, or insinuating that it is, because it's not. But you have this beautiful yes. And this card is asking you to say yes to you. To say yes to who you want to be. To say yes to what you want to do. Like, I really feel like this is your time. Like, this is one of the first times, 2025, this is one of the first times that you are really, truly starting to believe, know, and understand that you have every right to live your life the way you need to live your life. And you get to be a rebel with a cause, you know? And then we have gratitude. Today I am grateful for all of the little things. Even when the big things suck, there are always plenty of little things I can be at least a little grateful for, like hot showers and music, and the fact that humans invented an internet and I'm allowed to use it whenever I want to, using fingers and thumbs that do whatever I think them to do at any given moment. That's beautiful. But now I'm getting that this galactic card, there's something that you're supposed to do in relation to technology. I'm getting astronomy, John, the name John just came up, Sally. This month, you're gonna be reborn. And I know we're coming to the end of the month, but there is something about January. And I actually want to look in the book real quick right before we finish, because I feel like there's something in the guidebook that is specific to this message, and I don't want to miss it. So January's rebirth is on page 96. If that's relevant, that might be a number for somebody. And I actually might look that number up too. January's rebirth. In what ways is my higher self calling me to step up so that I can give birth to a new version of myself who is wiser, more aware of my needs, and more authentic? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's time for you to live your life. Like, you have not been able to live your life. And, like, you deserve... I mean, my God. I can't stress enough how much you deserve to live your truest, fullest, most authentic life. And I'm feeling, I just got like something in my throat. I literally feel like it's hard for you to even say that out loud, to even like fully believe that, to fully wrap your head around it. But if nobody's ever told you, it's true. It's true. You deserve to fully give birth to a new version of yourself that is wiser, more aware of your needs, and more authentic. This card reminds you that we come to Earth to learn lessons, to grow, and to often do so by making mistakes. Oh, wow. So I'm getting that you've made some mistakes in the past and you've allowed those mistakes, or you've allowed how other people have judged you in those moments to um determine who you are. But like, we're people, and people make mistakes, and we make mistakes so that we can learn, because we decided what lessons we needed to learn, what lessons our soul needed to learn before we got here. And nobody comes here just knowing shit. We all have to go through lessons. You do not come into this life not being able to, or not having to learn the lessons, right? And so inevitably what that means is that we're all going to make mistakes. But forgiveness, wow. Okay, so The Wings of Forgiveness was coming up by India Ari. Please look that song up. And it was coming in my head so intensely before before I started this video. But I didn't know if it was gonna circle back, and it's so funny that it's circling back in this very last moment. There's a lot of forgiveness that is being asked of you right now. For you to forgive yourself, for you to forgive other people that have damn near made you feel like you have been in fucking prison. Like, you have felt like a lot of your life has been wasted. It has not been wasted. This gratitude card is here because it's asking you, it wants you to look at the things that you've been through and find the ways that those hardships have positively impacted your life, because you know how they've negatively impacted your life. You know this because your mind ruminates on them, and you spend time, being hard on yourself. But like, this pile, you have to forgive yourself, because you're a human, and it's okay. I know it is so freaking hard to do, especially when there have been other people co-signing on the bad thing that you've done, right? There's nobody in this world that gets out without doing bad shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. We discover our needs after repeatedly putting ourselves into relationships where our needs are not met. We discover who we truly are after we tire of juggling too many masks. This is the nature of the journey we signed up for as souls living the human experience. Acknowledge your mistakes and ponder what these errors have taught you about your true self, needs, and most authentic desires. On a bitterly cold January eve, a young woman has consulted the tarot. A crow and coyote, the wise fools of the animal world. And the fool, always represented by 0, point her to both a completion and a beginning. Wow. You are letting go of the old self, and it's going to be hard. I'm not saying that it's going to be hard. Know that it's going to be hard, but know that you can do it, and you will. You will. You're going to get to the other side, but there's a lot of unpacking to do. There's a lot of boundaries to put up. There's a lot of clearing out to do. But take the rest of this month to, as much as you can, find some sort of sanctuary, to give yourself the space and the room to love up on yourself, to forgive yourself. Write down 10 things you love about yourself. Like, really just love up on yourself right now, and know that you have it in you. It might feel like a big ask right now, but know that you have it in you to move through this. She must let go of past folly, yet seek to understand the hidden motives behind those mistakes so that she can learn from them. So as you're going through this forgiveness, and it's not just like blind forgiveness. It's actually, seeing what the lesson was, and like, actually almost as though you were giving yourself a test, which I kind of hate saying that, but it's like almost as though you were handing yourself a piece of paper, and you were literally trying to figure out, okay, what was the lesson? This was the lesson. What did I learn? This is what I learned. Why might I have done this in the first place? Write those things down. Like, really take the time to clear out this stuff, because for you, man, I just want to say, you've been through a lot, man. Like, You've been through a lot. And you will be able to move through it. But have patience and forgiveness, because you won't be able to move through it without that. And know that you are deserving of patience. And I want to recommend a journal. It's about connecting with your true wild self. Unwilding, rewilding, because you have been, I'm just seeing like sewn together to just be so like, I don't want to make any mistakes. And I feel like you are wild. Like, you're a wild being. And I mean that in the most, like, I love that. Like, we love a free being. And you might be like, oh, it's not me. It is you. It is. Like, you're wild in the best way possible. But you have been tamed. And you're being asked to release all that shit. And it's not good. It's not just like, oh, I'm letting it all go, right? But it's like, it's going to take some time. But you got to trust your intuition, and you have to say yes to whatever wants to come up, to whatever wants to move through, because you are interstellar and you have a lot to do. And I feel like there are some gifts within you, and some things that you are going to bring to the world, to the technological world, that is going to shake shit up so intensely. Oh my God. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for you. Oh my God. I feel like this time next year, you won't even recognize yourself. And there are going to be people who don't recognize you. It might piss some people off. And let it be okay. Like, let it be okay. Shit, surround yourself with some people who truly are born to not give a fuck. And if you just so happen to be a person that read Pile 2, that listened to Pile 2 and Pile 3, know that you have it. You completely have it in you to not give a fuck. There are those of us that feel like we're always going to give some sort of fuck. You might feel like that right now, but I feel like out of all 3 of these piles, you guys are the people that are going to transform the most. Like, be unrecognizable. Like, knew everything who it is. Like, you are going to be shit. Oh my God, I'm seeing like Vision from Marvel. But you know how he be like floating through the air and he just be like he just be like just full blown in his God state. Like, that's really how I feel like you about to be. And people might be like, who does she think she is? Oh, you know what the answer to that is? You're exactly who you've always been. And you're going to get there. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I'm so excited to see what you create. And I'm so proud of you. And I know the journey has not been easy for you. But you're still here. And that's a really big deal. So, sending you so much love on your forgiveness journey. Man, I don't know if I read this somewhere. There was a period of time where I just really wasn't doing well, but I was still receiving like intense messages from Spirit. And one of those messages, I don't know if this is in the Bible, I don't know, but something about forgiving people 77 times. When I was sick and I was trying to process through things that I just felt so awful about, or just like trying to forgive other people, like I that was when I really realized, like, wow, forgiveness is like, it's a long process, and it's something that you have to keep going back to, but it does like start to feel lighter after a while. So I guess I'm just saying that to say that somebody's guys really want them to know that, you know, it might feel like it's a slow process, it might feel like nothing's happening, but trust the process and trust that things are happening, and whatever you put in, you are going to get back, okay? So if you're putting forgiveness into yourself, you're going to get that forgiveness back, okay? So take care of yourselves. Listen, warm blankets, tea, hugs, rest. I hope you have an amazing week, and I'll talk to you on Monday.